Hey guys, it's Marc from simplifyinglife.com.au. In this video I'd like to discuss the difference, well briefly anyway, between inspiration and motivation. Both words you've heard of and both words you think you know. But in counselling and psychology and in the mindfulness world, they're definitely used for different purposes. In general, inspiration is what comes from the inside. So it comes from Latin inspiro, so being spirited by, being guided by some sort of divine intervention in a sense. Whereas motivation is a word that has more of a moving meaning. Movere in Latin means move, so it moves you. Now, what's the difference? Generally what we find in Western culture anyway, I can't speak for any other culture, but most Western cultures, motivation is culturally ingrained. We're motivated to do all sorts of stuff, build a family, get a career, go to school. And motivation is seen as an important thing. And in a sense it is. It gets things done. If you're motivated to lose weight, you'll work towards it. If you're motivated to getting fitter, then you'll work towards it. If you're motivated to finish a study, get a certain career or find some purpose in life, that's great to have motivation to do that. Because motivation gets things in action. Fear can motivate really easily and really well. So if you've ever been chased by a bear, you'll be very motivated. I haven't, to be honest, but you'll be very motivated to run, trust me. So motivation is good to get things started. The problem with motivation, though, it's very external. External in the sense that it's not from us. It doesn't come from us per se. It's driven by a desire to get something done. Could be culturally determined, could be by your parents, could be by society, could be by your boss, could be by your body. But it leads to being motivated means being led from some external force that has an influence on you that makes you want to do things, and that requires willpower. Now, willpower, I'll do a video on willpower another time. But willpower is like a mental muscle, and it can run out. Inspiration, on the other side, is something that comes from within. That is you. That is something you value, something you want to do because it's in line with your purpose, in line with what you think is most important in life, in line with what you've always wanted to do with your life, etc., etc. So things that are being done by inspiration or based on inspiration, and Wayne Dyer has written a lot about inspiration, about being guided by God, your soul, your purpose. Being inspired to do something is often easier and leads to easier results. So inspiration pretty much automatically includes motivation. When you're inspired, you'll definitely be motivated. But when you're motivated, you're not necessarily inspired. So how does this work in counselling? I get a lot of people who are depressed, anxious, want to change their lives, are unfulfilled, are stuck in a career that they don't want to be in, that say, look, I haven't really got motivation anymore, or I can't find the motivation to change. When they say that, I understand what they're talking about, and that's obvious because they do want to change, but it's all too hard in a sense. What I'm generally hearing behind that message is that they don't have any inspiration or can't find the inspiration to do something different. And that's what we generally need to work on. So in order for you to change, or in order for a person to come out of a depressive episode, or to work on their anxiety, or work on finding purpose in their lives, or work on making improvements in their professional or personal lives, you will want to work on something that inspires you. So find something that comes from the inside out. Law, in my case, was something that inspired me initially, but ultimately only motivated me. And after a number of years, you might know my story, I had to quit. Because motivation in the long run, if it's not backed up by inspiration, will not last all that well. It might, but you won't be all that happy. Whereas if you're inspired to do something, and working on mental health and helping other people is something that definitely inspires me, is easy. I don't have to work hard on it. It comes easy because I enjoy doing it. So the motivation is automatically there. I spend less willpower on it, and the results are coming quite easy because it's something that doesn't wear me out. Like motivation can actually be really, or actions based on motivation can be tiring. So long story short, something I can discuss with you in more detail if you want. But when you are looking at changing something, whether it's yourself or a situation, you want to start looking at what actually inspires me rather than asking the question, what motivates me? First, look at what deep inside is something that you really truly want. Now, obviously people make fun of that and say, oh yeah, I just want to be rich, I'm really inspired by that. Well, if that were the case, then you were already rich because you'd be working on it effortlessly. So that's not always true. But it does require a deep search into your true values. Like, what do you find really important in life? You know, truly important. What really makes your heart sing, in a sense. Once you've found that, then you know what your inspiration is. And generally that will bring up the motivation to start making changes. If you find yourself in a situation where it's really hard to find any inspiration at all, well, then motivation can get you unstuck. Just look at what you don't want. You know, really look at what you're really fed up with, or what you've had enough of, or what you would like to change because it's so bad to have that, and use that as the proverbial bear that's chasing you to get out of the woods and actually start changing. And once you've done that, and once you've had the motivation kickstart, start looking for something that inspires you. Generally, inspiration will last, you know, will help you keep your willpower muscles strong, will help you keep you motivated, and actually doesn't need a lot of external validation or external acknowledgement or external backup, because it comes from the inside. So remember that one. Inspiration comes from the inside, motivation comes from the outside. Motivation is kind of ego, you know, inspiration is more soul-based, if you want to put it in an esoteric point of view. But anything fed by and powered by inspiration will last a lot longer, and probably will be lasting, rather than something that's purely done out of motivation, because you'll run out of motivation at some stage. Keep that in mind, and if you want to discuss more about that one, always happy to talk. You know where to find me. Email me at Marc with a C at simplifyinglife.com.au. So Marc with a C at simplifyinglife.com.au, or find me on Facebook, find me on my website, find me anywhere, and I look forward to talk.